complex, involved person. I never get tired of him. He's got his own sense of humor. He's got his own way of thinking. He's not involved in the music business at all, but he loves music. And we're different, but yet we just are so compatible.
Everyone's family today announcing the passing of my Aunt Dolly, Rebecca Parton Dean.
I'll be honest with you. I've made a lot of these videos, and I always find the words. Today, I sat here a long time before I could start this one, because Dolly Parton was never supposed to die. That's not sentiment. That's genuinely how it felt. Some people are so woven into the fabric of American life and into the heart of country music itself that we stop imagining the world without them. And this morning, that world arrived. Dolly Parton, country music legend, has passed away at the age of 80, just 17 months after the quiet man she loved for 60 years. This is not just the story of a superstar. It's the story of a girl at a laundromat, a man in a white Chevy, and a love that outlasted everything, even fame itself. Stay with me, because the way this story ends will stay with you. The announcement came Tuesday, August 25th, from her home in Nashville, Tennessee. It didn't come from a publicist or a record label. It came from family. Her nephew, Brian Seaver, the man who served as her head of security and protector for more than 20 years, shared the news in a video on her official page. The family said Dolly died peacefully at home. No cause of death was released, and honestly, that feels right. Dolly never led with her troubles. She led with her light. The family statement called hers a rhinestone life that shone bright enough for the world to see. They said her legacy is one of love, compassion, and resilience. 7 decades of music and an unwavering commitment to making the world a better place. There will be a small private service for close family. And in lieu of flowers, the family asked for one thing. When you hear what it is, near the end of this video, you'll understand exactly who Dolly Parton was, right up to her final day. But to understand what we lost today, and to understand the man she now rests beside, you have to go back to a summer day in 1964 and a laundromat called the Wishy Washy. Dolly Rebecca Parton stepped off a bus in Nashville the morning after her high school graduation. She was 18 years old, carrying everything she owned, and running on nothing but songs and stubbornness. Her very first day in that city, she took her dirty clothes to the Wishy Washy laundromat. And while her laundry spun, she stepped outside for a walk. A tall, quiet young man drove past, saw the girl on the sidewalk, and stopped to say hello. His name was Carl Thomas Dean. He was 21, a Nashville boy who worked in his family's asphalt paving business. Dolly would later laugh that she was surprised anybody noticed her at all that day. Carl noticed. He was the very first person she met in Nashville. And from that sidewalk moment until the day he died, he never really left her side. 2 years later, on Memorial Day weekend of 1966, they slipped across the state line to Ringgold, Georgia, and got married in a tiny, quiet ceremony. Her record label had told her not to marry at all. It would hurt her image, they said. So Dolly did what Dolly always did. She smiled sweetly and did exactly what her heart told her to do. She just did it quietly. That quietness became the shape of their whole marriage. Carl Dean never wanted the spotlight. In nearly 60 years as the husband of one of the most famous women on the planet, he almost never appeared in public with her. He skipped the award shows. He skipped the premieres. Fans joked for decades that Carl Dean might not even exist. Dolly loved the joke, and she loved him fiercely. She always said the mystery was the secret. He stayed home, she came home, and what they had needed no audience. Now, to understand the woman Carl married, you have to go a little further back still, into the Smoky Mountains. Dolly was born January 19, 1946, in a one-room cabin in Locust Ridge, Tennessee. deep in Sevier County. She was the fourth of 12 children. The family was, in her own words, dirt poor. Her father, Robert Lee Parton, was a sharecropper who never learned to read, a fact that would one day inspire one of the greatest acts of generosity in American history. Legend has it he paid the doctor who delivered Dolly with a sack of cornmeal. Money was scarce, but music wasn't. Her mother came from a family of singers and preachers, the people who sang at the funerals and the weddings and every gathering in between. An uncle put a guitar in her hands as a small child. By 7, she could play it. By 10, she was singing on television in Knoxville. By 13, she stood on the stage of the Grand Ole Opry. And the day after high school, she was on that bus to Nashville, headed straight for a laundromat, and a destiny she couldn't have written any better herself. Nashville did not hand Dolly Parton anything. She wrote songs for other people, sang demos, and took whatever work she could get, while Carl paved driveways and kept their little world steady. Then in 1967, the biggest star in syndicated country television came calling. Porter Wagoner wanted a new girl singer for the Porter Wagoner Show. It made her famous. It also nearly caged her. For 7 years, Dolly and Porter were country music's most successful duo, and behind the scenes, one of its most complicated partnerships. Porter was the boss, the veteran, the man with his name on the show. Dolly was the talent growing too big for the room. She wanted to record her own songs, stand on her own stage, and have her own shot at crossover success, the kind she'd later find with Here You Come Again, her first major pop crossover hit. He didn't want to let her go. So in 1974, when she finally decided to leave, she didn't slam a door. She did the most Dolly thing imaginable. She went home and wrote a song. Then she walked into Porter's office, sat him down, and sang it to his face. That song was I Will Always Love You. Think about that. The most famous farewell in the history of American music wasn't written for a sweetheart. It was written for a difficult boss. A thank you and a goodbye, wrapped inside one perfect melody. Porter listened, and when she finished, he told her it was the prettiest song he'd ever heard, and that she could go. And here is where Carl steps back into the story in the most unexpected way. Around that same time, Dolly wrote another song. It was about a stunning red-haired bank teller who, as Dolly told it for the next 50 years, had taken a very obvious liking to her handsome husband. Carl enjoyed the attention at the bank just a little too much for his wife's comfort. So Dolly, being Dolly, turned her jealousy into 3 minutes of perfection. She borrowed the name of a little red-haired fan she'd met at an autograph line, and she wrote, Jolene. One woman, one laundromat husband, and one flirty bank teller gave the world 2 of the most beloved songs ever written. Dolly loved to say that Carl was worth fighting for. The whole world has been singing about it ever since. From there, nothing could hold her. In 1980, having never acted a day in her life, she walked onto a movie set with Jane Fonda and Lily Tomlin to make 9 to 5 and stole the picture. She wrote the theme song on set, tapping out the rhythm with her acrylic fingernails, and it went to #1 on both the pop and country charts and earned her an Academy Award nomination. 3 years later, she joined her dear friend Kenny Rogers on Islands in the Stream, one of the most beloved duets ever recorded. Steel Magnolias followed. The beloved holiday television special Smoky Mountain Christmas, books. By her own estimate, she wrote more than 3,000 songs. She won Grammy Awards across 6 different decades. And in 2022, she became one of the rare artists inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. She famously tried to decline the honor, saying she didn't feel she'd earned it before the music world convinced her otherwise. And in 1992, a young singer named Whitney Houston took Dolly's little farewell song from Porter's office and turned it into one of the biggest hits in the history of recorded music. Dolly had kept the publishing rights. She never sold them. She liked to say Whitney's version bought her a lot of rhinestones. And through every bit of it, Carl was home. He saw her perform in public only a handful of times in 60 years. He met her celebrity friends almost never, though one of those rare exceptions was her goddaughter, Miley Cyrus, who grew up knowing Aunt Dolly the way the rest of the world knew her only from records and screens. When Dolly renewed their vows on their 50th anniversary in 2016, she finally got him into a tuxedo, and she treasured those photographs like gold because pictures of the two of them were that rare. She said many times that when she walked through her own front door, she wasn't Dolly Parton the icon. She was just Carl's wife. In a business that eats marriages alive, they quietly built one of the longest love stories in the history of American entertainment, and they did it by keeping it entirely their own. The bigger Dolly got, the more she pointed everything back home. While other stars bought mansions in Beverly Hills, Dolly bought a struggling theme park in the Smoky Mountains and put her name on it. Dollywood opened in 1986, and today it stands as one of the largest employers in that corner of Tennessee. Thousands of jobs in the same hills where her daddy once paid a doctor with cornmeal. And then came the books. Remember, her brilliant father never learned to read. Dolly watched what that did to a proud man. So in 1995, she started a program to mail one free book every month to every child in her home county, from birth to age 5. No forms, no strings, just a book in the mailbox with the child's name on it. She called it the Imagination Library, run through the Dollywood Foundation, her formal charitable organization, and the kids came to call her the Book Lady. That little county program grew, state by state, then country by country, until it had placed more than 250 million books into children's hands. Her father lived to see it, and Dolly said he considered it the greatest thing she ever did. Not the Grammys, not the gold records, the books. And when the world locked down in 2020, it was Dolly Parton who quietly gave $1 million to medical research at Vanderbilt, money that helped fund one of the first COVID vaccines. She didn't hold a press conference. Word just got out, the way good news about Dolly always did. But every light casts a shadow, and the final chapter of Dolly's life carried a sorrow that all the rhinestones in Tennessee couldn't cover. In his final years, Carl's health began to fail. It was, in Dolly's own words, a long time of him being very sick, and behind closed doors, away from every camera, she did what she had always done. She took care of her man. In March of 2025, Carl Thomas Dean died in Nashville at the age of 82. They had been together for more than 60 years, married for 58 of them. Dolly's public statement was brief and shattering in its simplicity. She said words can't do justice to the love they shared for over 60 years, and she thanked the world for its prayers. The man from the Wishy Washy was gone. And something in Dolly's world went quiet. She kept working. She always kept working. But she began to speak about her own health in a way she never had before. And this is the part she told us herself. In her own words, back when Carl was very sick, and that was for a long time, and then when he passed, she didn't take care of herself. She said she let a lot of things go that she should have been taking care of. Read between those lines, and you'll find the truest measure of that marriage. At nearly 80 years old, in a business built on image, Dolly Parton told the plain truth. She had spent her strength caring for the man she loved, and her own health had paid the price. No self-pity, no drama, just honesty. The same honesty she'd been handing us since Coat of Many Colors. Just 4 days before she passed, on August 21st, she gave her fans an optimistic update, gently calming the swirl of rumors, reminding everyone that in a 24/7 world, everything gets magnified. That was Dolly to the very last, reassuring us, protecting us. Even then, she died Tuesday, peacefully, at home in Nashville, 80 years old, 17 months after Carl. And maybe that number is the whole story. Casey Musgrave said it for millions of us. The world feels a lot less sparkly all of a sudden. And she added the one thought that brings any comfort today. She's with her Carl Dean now. The tributes have not stopped all day, and they will not stop for a long time. Reba McEntire thanked her for all the wonderful things she did for us here on Earth, for her love, her music, and her huge, huge heart, and said there will never, ever be another her. Sally Field, her Steel Magnolias sister, said that if there are truly angels on Earth, then we have just lost one. Lily Tomlin, her partner in 9 to 5, could only manage 2 words and a broken heart. No words. George Strait, Dionne Warwick, Kelly Clarkson, voices from every corner of American music, all saying the same thing in different ways. And the family's one request? No flowers. Instead, they asked that donations go to the Imagination Library. Even in death, Dolly Parton's last wish was a book in a child's hands. So how do you sum up a life like this one? A girl born in a one-room cabin, 4th of 12, paid for with a sack of cornmeal. She wrote 3,000 songs, built a town's economy, taught millions of children to read, helped fund a vaccine, and never once, in 60 years of fame, made a single one of us feel small. And through all of it, she loved one man, the man who stopped his car at the Wishy Washy, the man who stayed home so she could belong to the world, the man she followed just 17 months behind. Maybe you don't sum it up. Maybe you just say thank you. Thank you, Dolly, for Jolene on the radio on a summer night, for 9 to 5 when the work week needed a fight song, for Coat of Many Colors when we needed to remember where we came from, and for one perfect farewell song that turned a goodbye into a promise. You told us you would always love us. Dolly, we will always love you. If Dolly's music was part of your life, tell us in the comments. What's the song you'll play tonight? Share a memory of her, or of a love in your own life like Dolly and Carl's. This community reads every single one, and if you'd like to honor her the way her family asked, the link to the Imagination Library is in the description below. Rest easy, book lady. Hug Carl for all of us.